Hi, I'm Dr. Matt Arnio. I am the owner of HealthSource Chiropractic here in Gillette, Wyoming, and we are asked to come and do this virtual health fair and talk a little bit about proper lifting techniques. I've been in Gillette here since 2011. We've had our clinic in the same location. We've expanded. We do progressive exercise therapy, dry needling, different therapy techniques. We've been treating patients, loving it since 2011. So I wanted to come and talk to you guys today about proper lifting techniques, something we've all heard of many times. So first, I really wanted to start off with the why behind the what. So why do we need to lift properly? Why do we not just want to bend over and pick something up every day? Well, the truth is every time we bend forward, we're putting pressure on these discs. So over and over, we're bending forward. So it doesn't matter if we're picking up a 50-pound piece of metal, or if we're picking up a pen off the floor, we're stressing that spine over and over. So what happens is when we're stressing that spine, we put pressure on the front, like I said, but you can see by this model, we start to cause some issues going on. Now, this is a great model that shows what happens when there's actually a bulge or herniation in the disc. So many times I have patients come in and they say, you know, I wasn't lifting anything that heavy. I just bent down to pick up a paperclip or something like that. Well, think of this over and over. We have the weight of our upper torsos bending over, putting pressure on those discs. Now, those discs are made to take thousands, up to 1,500 pounds of pressure. They've done studies. They put them into a hydraulic press and done that. But over and over, if we have that repetitive stress, what happens is we get little tears inside that disc, and then it's that last straw on the camel's back that we bend over, pick something up, and we actually hurt that disc. Now, if anyone has never had back pain before, that'd be surprising. 80% of Americans suffer back pain sometime in their life. You have a strong back until you don't, and then you don't, and then you pay for it pretty much the rest of your life. So we are here to talk about different lifting techniques, and we're going to go into that, the why behind the what, and a little bit more of how you can help prevent issues. When we're lifting properly, we want to make sure there's a couple things we do. We want to contract our core muscles. That means pulling your belly button into your spine. You want to kind of brace yourself. Think of when if you've ever been lifting, when you're getting ready to lift, you want to brace your core, getting ready to lift that. When we're lifting from the floor to the waist, we can see we want to get close to wherever we're lifting. We want to bend our knees. We want to drop our butt down. We don't want to bend at the waist. We want to keep our back straight, and then we want to lift that straight up. For lifting floor to overhead, we want to do that same thing, bending the knees, dropping the butt, lifting that load, whatever we're lifting up, and then as we come up, if we're lifting over our head, we want to keep it close to our body. We don't want to reach our hands up because that puts pressure on our spine. So then going from the waist to overhead, again, we're keeping that weight close to our body, and then as we lift it up, we're putting it wherever we need. A couple things: we never want to be twisting our waist when we're lifting something. We want to be able to shuffle our feet, move with that, so we can stay away from any torsion on the spine. The worst thing you can do is lift something, put a load on the spine, and then twist and torsion it. So we don't want to outstretch our arms. We want to keep that, whatever we're lifting, close to our body. We don't want to reach far out, because again, that puts your back into a really bad spot. Anytime you can, you want to use a dolly or lifting assistant for whatever you're lifting. And if you are lifting heavier things, you want to be able to have a back support to help protect you with that. We're going to talk about pre-work warm-ups. So whether you're getting ready to do a workout at home or at the gym, or if you're working and you're doing some strenuous things, your company should be giving you some kind of pre-workout warm-up to help you with that. Studies show that the work comp injuries take a drastic nosedive when there is pre-work warm-up put in place. So now we're going to talk about strengthening. Now this is something that we all need to be doing to take care of ourselves outside of the workplace. We need to be exercising 20 to 30 minutes a day. When we're doing cardiovascular work, you want to be able to raise that heart rate up. So if you're doing anything that you can have a conversation doing, you're probably not working hard enough. So we need to be getting in there, getting some cardiovascular work done. We need to add in some core work. We're talking about glutes, working the posterior, the backside of the pelvis, working the hamstrings, working on these muscles that are going to help us with our day-to-day activities, not only at work, but bending over, squatting down, picking up our kids, doing things that we need to do and we love to do. Stretching, this is a big part. We need to put this into our workouts. That's 20 to 30 minutes a day. Might sound a lot to you, but when we add in some cardiovascular, some core work, and some stretching, you can get it done, and it doesn't seem that long. But we want to make sure we're stretching hamstrings, glutes, piriformis muscles. These are muscles that are on the back side of the pelvis. Again, we want to take pressure off that low back. When we have low back issues, that posterior chain or the back side always get really tight. I think a lot of people can relate that when they have back pain, their hamstrings get super tight. So this can be done, after you warm up a little bit for your workout, or you can add this into your pre-work warm-up when you're at work. The last thing we're going to talk about is mobilization of the joints. So we want to be stretching. We want to keep our muscles limber so that we can get in those positions we need to, whether it's at work or whether it's at home. But when we talk about mobilization of the spine, this is where chiropractic care comes into play. When these joints on the back side of the spine or any joint gets locked up, a lot of times you don't even realize that. So we can have a couple joints in the spine. Think of your spine like a bike chain. Of all those links, if a couple links get caught up, you're going to kind of get that thud, 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 kind of, it's just not going to move smoothly. So in our spine, if they get locked up, sometimes we don't even know about it. But as we're moving through our day, let's say these joints here are locked up. We bend over to pick something up. They can't move. It puts more stress. The joints down here have to move more stress on the front part of that disc, and that's where injuries happen. So not only does mobilizing that joints make you feel better because you feel more fluid, you can get your stretches better, you can move better, but it's also a big thing with prevention. So we want to be able to make sure that all of our joints are moving properly. We say that motion is the lotion of life. So I hope you guys gained something out of this. Again, we've heard proper lifting over and over and over. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the why behind the what and give you some insight into, maybe I should think twice before I go pick up that 40-pound whatever you're picking up. So, Dr. Matt, HealthSource Chiropractic here in Gillette, Wyoming. Very honored that I was able to come talk to you, even though it was virtual. Hopefully it can be live someday, but be able to talk to you about proper lifting techniques.